Alright, so I know that a lot of you just came to see this plane. You probably won't plan on building it, but for those of you that do, I applaud your efforts. Now, I'm sorry that I built this so big. Some of you may have been looking forward to actually building this one, but I just have so many pieces. I wanted to build small, but boy, once I got into it, I just went all out. But I really like the flat edges along this. This hump, kind of ugly if you want to take it that way, but I think that it's pretty ingenuitive the way that I'm able to work around the brickness of Lego. But enjoy the tutorial. Hey there guys, today I'm bringing you the hardest Lego build I have ever done. Now this by far was one of the most complex to build, and assuredly it's going to be the hardest to show you how to build it. Now, if you couldn't tell from the thumbnail or the title, pretty obvious, this is an Airbus Beluga. Now, I was actually suggested this while I was on my trip to Hawaii. That vlog is taking way too long to edit, and it will be up not very soon, just to be honest. This, I wouldn't really even consider it a micro build anymore. It's probably about that long when it's completed. But without further ado, here we go. Now, we're going to start off by building the horizontal stabilizers because it's the easiest part to build. Now, in this build, there's going to be a lot of pieces that are specific, and I'm sorry if you don't have these. This is a pretty large build. But we have two offset studs right here. They're just stacked on top of each other, and then a flat piece on the top that goes on top of a 1x3 and a 1x4. Now you'll do this just duplicated, so that way you've got the mirror image for the other side of the plane. And once you've got these done, you can put those off to the side. Now I figured, you know what, let's just tackle the hardest part of the build, which is the fuselage area. Now this is going to be pretty hard to show you how to build it, but we're going to take this apart so you can see just how it goes together. So taking this off, the whole thing kind of comes apart in chunks, which I suppose is sort of convenient for building. But along here, let's see the best way to describe this. Now, right here, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, here, let me count this. Right here, we have a 1x10 gray piece that has a 1x6 piece on it that's 4 blocks in. 1x6, 4 blocks in. Here, we have a 1x4 resting on that. On top of this, you have a white angled piece. Now this will sit so that it's 2 in on the gray piece. 2 in. Now here, we have a 1x8. That's white. It has 2 flat pieces here, but of course you could use a 1x4 flat if you have that. You'll kind of connect this with a 2x3, and right here I have a 1x2 raising up along with a flat white piece and an angled piece on this side. I'll just kind of show it off here so you can get a general idea of how it's built to make sure that yours looks the same if you try and tackle this build. Now, what you'll do is you'll build another piece just like that, except it's mirrored. I'm not going to go through a step-by-step how to build this. I think you can figure it out pretty simply since it's the same as the other thing. And with this, you'll take that horizontal stabilizer you built earlier, and that will go on the end of this, kind of angled back. Now this one is the angle that we'd want. Let's try and line this one up with that. And that's pretty much it. And then of course, these little, winglet things on the back, that wants to run parallel with the fuselage. Now you got those pieces assembled, we'll go to this part. Now, boy, this just looks insane on camera. But trust me, when it's done, it looks amazing. So down here, let's see how close we can get. Looks like that's as close as we're going to be. But we've got a large 1x2 piece there. You've got a 1x3, a 1x6, and a 1x4. But if you have a 1x10, you could do that as well. And then on top of that, you have a 1x8. So it goes 1x3, 1x10, 1x8. Then right here, a 1x4, a 1x2, a 1x3, and then this piece is sort of optional. It's just the tail of the plane. I like the way it looks in this case. You got a flat piece on top of that, and then on top of all this other stuff, here you've got 2 pieces stacked up on top of each other. You have a 1x4, you've got a 1x3 that sticks out through the middle, and another 1x4. Then on top of this all, you have a 1x10, I believe it is. I just want to count that to make sure it is. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's fix that. This is a 1x12 across here, a very long piece. Now you've got just a flat piece on the end. This is a 1x6, and then you'll put a piece along the top to make it 1x5. Doesn't matter what pieces you use. It's pretty complex, but along the back here, you can see I have built the horizontal stabilizer, taking a piece like this, and connecting this to it. Now it doesn't look very good from this side of the plane, but as you can see, I have a 1x4, a 1x3, a 2x3, then a 1x4. Then I connect all that together with this angled piece, a 1x2, and this will go on the corner, and you'll want to angle that forward a little bit. This is the part that is probably the most lenient when you build it. You just want to clip it in there, and later on you'll be able to align it how it fits with the plane. Then you'll take two 1x4 angled pieces and just wedge a 1x3 in between them, and you'll connect these. Let's take that off for a second. You'll connect these with a 1x2, another 1x2, and a hinge piece. And let's see if I can pull this piece off. That's how this is assembled. You'll want to center this with a 2, so it's kind of like that. 1 and 3 goes right back in there. You'll want to line this long edge up with the 2 short edges on that. Now this will connect on this main piece right here. That's why you need this to be 1x5. And this, of course, that will line up with that later on. Now we'll start and try and build the nose of it. So here you can see that I have two 1x4 pieces, and to take this piece off, so as you can see, what I've done here is I have a white piece that has studs on either side. You'll have one more piece separating those, another one of the same piece, one that has a stud on either side, which has 2 total. You'll put a clear piece on top of that. You'll put another piece on the end, just a regular 1x1 brick, and a round piece. Now you'll take a 1x2, that will line up just behind that right there to give it the sort of sloped effect. And this 1x4, it will connect on the center dot right there. So if you can fit it in, it will bring it up like that. Now, we'll build this piece which rides right on top of it. You can see that I have 3 1x2s, and I have a 1x3 on top of that. And right here, I have some slanted pieces. Right here, you could use a 2x3. And then, on the sticking out piece, I have another 1x2 with an angle piece just like that. Now this will rest right on top of the cockpit area that you just built. This will all line up, and that's pretty much it for that piece. Then, you'll take this entire assembly, and this will fit in just like that. It should line right up with the front, and if everything goes well, it should end up looking like this. I'll let you see it for a little bit, so that way you can check it with yours. Looks like that. And now to connect, I suppose we can connect these parts right now. So these big long pieces you built, what you want to do is this 1x3 piece, that's going to line up with that 1x6 piece right there. So here, let's actually get a little more wide view of this. Basically, the front of this will come up right behind those angle pieces right there. You can snap that right in, and that's about it. Just make sure those are pressed in very tightly. This also is a very delicate build, so throughout this entire thing, there's going to be a lot of realigning just to make sure that everything fits right. Because if everything doesn't fit right, then you gotta take the thing apart and find out where it's loose. Because the actual dome for the top of this, it's pretty intricate as well, and it's just a mess to try and show you how to build it. But you should have some big wonky contraption that looks just like this. Now to build the wings. The wings are pretty straightforward, but I also like it because it's got a correct sweep back as well. You can angle them. Now right here, I've got a 2x3, 1x4 connected to just a basic 1x6 slanted piece like this. And from this, oops, that's not the right piece. Let me fix that. What we'll want to do first is build the engine and the engine pod area. So as you can see, I have taken a brick with all the studs around the side, and just basically get 3 1x2s, line them like that, get a gray stud, put it in the front, and then a cone right here. Now this will go on top of a 1x3, a single 1 dot. Now this is essential. You do need a 1x3 and a 1. You can't use a 1x4. And then you'll get just another 1x3 connected on a 2x2, and this will all connect like this. So that way this engine can run parallel with the body while the wing is swept back. Now you'll do the same thing with the other wing. That's pretty straightforward. And you'll connect this whole thing by taking a piece like this that has studs on either side, 2x3 and 2 offset studs, and on this you'll connect just basically a hinge mechanism. That part's pretty straightforward, and this will connect on that single 1 piece that you put earlier. Now that will go on the second one in from the end. Same with the other side, making sure that they're, oops, I just dropped the whole thing. Just like I said, this will connect in like that, and I'll reconnect this. So that way, later on you can align it and sweep it back just how you want it. Now to build the actual dome part of it. This is sort of the top bridge part, that'll be the front of it. Now along here, I've got a 1x8, and then one in from the end is a 1x4, and an offset stud. Then, take a hinge piece, along with a single 1 piece, and a 1x2. This can slide along here, and you can adjust that later. That will connect, that will connect in, I can't even get it aligned. There we go. Connect in like that, along with this, and once it's in there, you can kind of slide that back up into position. Then, for this is where you need a lot of flat pieces. Now you can see this is a hinge here. Basically what we'll do, see how we can take this apart. If I take this piece off, so this is a flat 1x8, and on here I've worked a system of 1x2, 1x2, and a slanted piece like this. But behind that I have a hinge piece on top of a 1x3 piece right there. Here I have a 2x4 and just a single 1x2 piece. And then this little contraption right here, you've got 1x4, single 1 piece, 1x3, and 2 1x2s. You could use a 2x2 as well if you have that. That will connect on the end of that, and then you got that hinge piece working right there. Then you'll take this piece, line that up with that, and you'll get a product looking like this. You do the same thing with the other opposite side. Now since this piece is a little intricate, I'm going to show you how it goes. Now this piece is actually a little different since you gotta line the things up differently. But here you've got the 1x2 and the hinge. This time they're right next to each other, there's not a space in between them. Now this slanted piece hooks on like that. Same deal with the 1x8. This time it's just connected by the end right there. This is the same, and this piece is the same. It'll just be up the opposite side. And once you have all these, you can connect this one first right in there. So that way, you know, this should fit right behind that. When you fold it up like that, you can see. You'll take the other piece, that will fill the other gap right there. And then you'll take a 2x4 with an offset stud put right in the center of that, and this offset piece will go on top of the 2 hinges right there. You can press that in, and then this will do the same thing pretty much. That will fit on like that, and now you can kind of curve this up, and this folds back, and you can see how that kind of works as the dome. And now to assemble the entire build. Now, I may have said the other parts were harder earlier on, but this undoubtedly is the most difficult part of the build. And you'll take this piece, you'll kind of spread it out as much as you can. Now one thing that I'd recommend doing is taking this piece off, just kind of unclipping it from its area. Now this should be able to rest in just like that. If we can focus it up on this, you'll notice that this piece comes down right where that angle piece is, and the gap right there should line up with the 2 on this side. You'll want to press very gently. This top area should be pretty safe to press on. and then you just kind of press in the sides, make sure they're lined up, and then you can take this piece and snap it right back in place. Looks pretty centered. And then these two pieces back here, you can press these in. There's a little bit of things down below that you need to watch out when you're pressing it in. But that is pretty much that. You just want to, line up everything else, make sure it looks nice and tidy. And these wings, these will go on right behind that piece right here. And this is, of course, where you'd want to make sure that these thin little connection points, which are actually pretty weak, are lined up correctly. Now with this you can adjust the sweep back of them, making sure that they look proper. And then you can line up the engines after that. And you can bend them up a little bit without snapping them off completely as well. And that's about it. This is your Airbus Beluga. This was by far the most challenging micro Lego build I have ever built. It's kind of hard to even call it a micro Lego build, since it is so monstrous. I mean, compared to my hand, I've got big hands. The wingspan isn't that big, but it's just such a large bulge. It's really, a work of art. It takes an interesting eye to really appreciate this weird mess up here. But, hey, there it is. I do not have landing gear for this, of course. That'd be really hard to master for it. But I hope you enjoyed, and I'll be bringing more soon. Bye.